Cameroon, where thousands have taken to the streets in protest against the presidential election results that extended President Biya's rule for another 7 years. The Central African Nations Constitutional Council on Monday declared 92-year-old Biya as the winner of the disputed vote, with over 53% of the ballots, triggering violent protests in several cities. Let's take a look. I mean, I don't know if Cameroon can survive this, Rufai. Paul Biya is Africa's oldest leader and one of the world's longest-serving rulers. He has been in power for 43 years. At least 4 people have been killed in recent clashes with security forces. International observers have expressed deep concern about the recent violent repression of protests and called on authorities to tackle the excessive use of force. Biya, however, faces a weakened mandate as analysts warn the post-election standoff could intensify, raising concerns about stability in the oil and cocoa producing nation. We've seen protests like this, especially only recently in Nepal. They are burning buildings. 4 people have died. Can Cameroon survive this, Rufai?
So about up to 1 a.m. this morning, I was up on Cameroonian TV, Equinox TV. Yeah. And yes, there's been a lot of burnings, but police are already on the street, cracking down on people high-handedly. I mean, I got sent a message from 15 people, again, just overnight into this morning, passed as a result of this. Very sad. Most of the cities, you know, from Douala to Yaoundé to other parts of the country, everywhere, you know, on tenterhooks, even up to, you know, the northern region, Garoua and all of that.
Unfortunately.
I think the parliament, I think there's a process where the parliament actually swears him, so he has actually taken the oath of office to be able to start. But today, Oji, I'd like to name and shame President Nguema of Gabon, that has gone ahead to send a congratulatory message to Biya. You see, as long as we have African leaders that congratulate sham elections like this, Africa will never move forward. But how are you going to even blame Bryce Nguema himself when he came in via a coup himself? So the killings are going on in Cameroon. EU has written extensively about it. All the international bodies have written extensively about it. The truth is, Oji, people will just get killed and Biya will consolidate. At this point, it is a sorry state for the Cameroonian people. Lots of places have been burnt across the country. But is this how Cameroon will continue? Is this how Ivory Coast will continue? Look at the Ivorian case. Those ones, because they've been suppressed so much and because they've lied to the Ivorians because of the civil war that happened after the former elections, that you must not come out to protest. So they've suppressed people. No,
and
that's what is happening in Africa. So we've gone 10 steps forward and 15 steps backward.
Unfortunately. Dr.
Well, the irony of it and the painful part of it is how democracy is in retreat in Africa. From Niger to Chad to Mali to Gabon to Guinea-Conakry to, you know, Cote d'Ivoire, Uganda, and now Cameroon. The unfortunate part of it also is that the same Paul Biya is the oldest head of state in the world. He has been president in Cameroon since 1982. He is not even in the country. He's somewhere in Geneva, Intercontinental Hotel, ensconced there. He came to campaign only once.
Only once,
So it is the ordinary people who always suffer when their leaders disappoint them. Yesterday I asked the question, what next for Cameroon?
Yes.
Most of the people in Cameroon, they don't know any other leader. It's only Biya that they have known their entire lives. Now, whether he likes it or not, when his reign of terror ends, what will happen to Cameroon? What next? Finally, Chiroma Bakari, the leader of the opposition and the United Front for Change, now the Interior Minister of Cameroon is saying that he may be taken to court and that he will have to face legal consequences because it is he and his accomplices who are causing what he calls an insurrection in Cameroon. So the next thing you are likely to have is not just the suppression, because Paul Atanga Nji, that's his name, he's saying that they have put down the insurrection, but that Bakari Chiroma will have to answer for this because he's the one who has incited the people. At the end of the day, it is the people who always hold the short end of the stick. We have heard from AU, from the UN, and from the EU, all calling for caution. ECOWAS is yet to speak up.
This is what
and I said that Nigeria must not congratulate Paul Biya, and that President Tinubu must not attend the inauguration.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
I hope somebody is listening.
So please, Africa has to stand against this.
If you attend Paul Biya's inauguration, we'll come and we'll condemn you here. Because enough of all of this.
Don't threaten the president.
No, if he does, we'll condemn him.
Don't expect your opinion. Don't threaten him.
Against the coups in the countries, they took a hard stance. Remember how it was controversial when they said they were going to even launch military force. If they can speak against coups like that, democratic coups like this must also be hugely condemned by all West West African countries. So it's not just for coups through military action. Even democratic coups like this, where lives are lost in the process, ought to be condemned. Until Africa is Africa's solution to Africa's problems. Until African leaders are ready for true democracy and stand up to speak against and even sanction countries like this. We're not going anywhere. So
imagine
like said,
if you were to stay in power. Guess how old he will be?
100.
99. By the time he's done, 99. Who wants a leader that is 99? Africans have to speak up. They have to speak against this. Well, here in Nigeria, reactions have trailed the United States government's decision to revoke the non-immigrant visa of Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka. The decision was contained in a letter dated October 23rd and signed by the U.S. Consulate General in Lagos. Soyinka spoke during a media party on Tuesday, where he read excerpts of the official correspondence. Let's take a listen before we take some reactions, if we can.
When I received a letter asking me to bring back my passport because certain facts may have come up since the visa was issued. And I was given a date to report at the consulate with my passport. I declined the invitation. First of all, I didn't like the date. Everybody knows what happened on that date, November 11, many years ago. So it was rather unfortunate that they picked that date, and I said, sorry, I'm superstitious. I'm not coming on that date. And then ultimately, I made it clear I was also not going to apply for another date to bring in my passport. So he sighed and said he was very sorry, but that meant that my visa would be revoked. I said, by all means, I'd be willing to receive the letter of revocation. And I assured him that both he and his staff are given permanent visa waiver anytime they want to visit the Autonomous Republic of Ijegba, situated in Abeokuta, and there will be no reciprocal conduct from my principality. So I began to cast my, what have I done in recent times? And I remembered that I referred to him as the white version of Idi Amin. Now, dictators are very difficult to please. I would have thought that he was pleased. I mean, Idi Amin was a man of international stature, a statesman, a first-class Democrat, He was also, he called himself the King of Scotland. He called himself a liberator. He said, in fact, he was going to liberate Scotland from the grip of the British. In other words, we should look at Idi Amin as along the line of historic liberators. He was liberating everybody everywhere. Some of them, he even liberated their lives from them, and sent them to places of no return. So when I called Donald Trump Idi Amin, I thought I was paying him a compliment. But maybe I've also written plays about Idi Amin. Maybe it's about time I also write a play about Donald Trump. When he hears that I'm paying him the same literary compliment as I paid Idi Amin, maybe he will reconsider and return my visa. Otherwise, I want to assure the consulate and the Americans here that I am very content with the revocation of my visa.
All right, there he says he is very content with the revocation of his visa. I mean, a lot of Nigerians were reacting, and I just was reading many of the comments, which I will not highlight here because, I don't think that they had the full context of the story. Professor Wole Soyinka has said that he was the one who refused to go for his visa appointment, and he is fine with not having an American visa when he, for his visa back in 2016, his green card back in 2016 when Donald Trump became president. He did it with his full chest. It's not like he's wanting to go. And the reason why he applied for a visa, like he said for our viewers, was because he had, a tax issue. And he didn't want to be a tax evader. So that's why he applied for a visa, to go sort out the tax issues in America. Yeah. So he's perfectly fine. And he's even invited the people that revoked his visa to come to Abeokuta. He will give them free entry.
Yeah. I thought his response was very gracious and very, of course, he's a man full of wisdom, so he knew how to diplomatically respond to this update. However, whilst we, on the lighter side of things, say that he's over 90, he loves Nigeria, he's proud of Nigeria, he loves Abeokuta, he's invited them to come, he wants to rest. In fact, some of these travels could be burdensome on him at this time, and he's often talked about how he's not crazy about traveling to the US. It doesn't hold that much of an appeal for him, but he goes there to honor invitations and, like you mentioned, some of the issues around his taxes. However, I just want to say this. Professor Wole Soyinka is an icon. He's not just an icon in Nigeria. He's become a citizen of the world. And I think it's quite unfortunate that the US has decided to take this decision. And I hope that the Nigerian government can intervene in this particular matter, because for his contribution, not just to Nigerian literature, even to the world, his books and his works are read and referred to internationally in Nigeria, in America, in the United Kingdom, all over the world. So this kind of uptake or this kind of positioning doesn't look good at all. And if, according to what he said, is as a result of what he said about the current president, I think that's most unfortunate, because we cannot have leaders who are intolerant to dissent or to expressions of how people feel, which America historically has been quite receptive to. And so I'm hoping that there can be a rethink, a reversal, because he's not just a pride to Nigeria and Africa, he's a pride to on international global scene. And I love that he has said no hard feelings. He's happy with it. He doesn't want to jackman. He doesn't need visa to move. He's happy to be in Nigeria, and other countries around the world will be more than happy to welcome him to their shores.
All right, Dr.
Just a quick footnote. It was Professor Wole Soyinka who wrote that the man dies in all who keeps silent in the face of tyranny. And he has always lived up to that creed, always speaking up against tyranny in any part of the world. And I'm excited by the fact that he says, in fact, we may benefit in the literary field from this experience. He says, Idi Amin in whiteface, and that he may write a play on Donald Trump. That would be another major contribution to his oeuvre. After all, he wrote A Play of Giants in 1984. In A Play of Giants, he was talking about General Kamini, which is Idi Amin. He talked about Emperor Casco. Emperor Casco is Bokassa, Nguema Bokassa. He talked about, who else is there? General Turabum, which is...
even Conquist Harvest, he talked about generals.
Yes, General Turabum. About giants, about these people who abuse power. And also Gunema, which he was referring to Nguema. So it would be nice to see a satire on Donald Trump coming from the stable of, Professor Wole Soyinka, Nobel laureate, global citizen, international icon.
I'm sure that it will be fixed. I mean, there was just an issue with the
one woman came on this program. He said, "No man can intimidate me."
Yes.
Professor Soyinka will say, "No man or woman can intimidate me."
You will benefit from me coming to your country.
He's a legend. He's a legend and he's a global citizen.
And we need to learn more from Professor Wole Soyinka. I hope he lives another decade and more. 100. He's 91 now, isn't it? Yes. All right. Fantastic. Well, all right. Speaking about literature and authors, in London, former US Vice President Kamala Harris appeared in conversation with Nigerian renowned author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie at the London Literature Festival on Thursday last week as part of her ongoing book tour for 107 days. Her new political memoir, the memoir chronicles Harris's 2024 presidential campaign following President Joe Biden's withdrawal from the race. Chimamanda asked Harris about her journey, leadership style, and how personal stories shaped her public life and more. Let's take a look.
So I know that lots of people have talked about how a primary should have been done. You had 107 days. Did any of the people who wanted a primary actually say how this would have happened?
No.
Okay. Thanks for clearing that up.
And by the way, I said anybody who wants to run, jump on in, but I'm running. It is well known that he will act based on flattery or favor. You remember in the first round of his administration, UN nations laughed at him. This last UN convening, again, was laughable. What he has modeled, there is something increasingly happening in the world, which is the resurgence of the strongman, and the idea that the strength of a nation is based on the brutality of its leader. Well, we just had 7 million Americans protest, and then also here in London, people protested, no King's Day. So the people are speaking.
Throughout your country.
All right, I'll be interested to read that memoir, Rufai, but this conversation represents a significant moment for African literary excellence on the global stage, with Adichie's selection to engage one of America's most prominent political figures, demonstrating her status as not just a novelist, but an intellectual force whose perspectives resonate internationally. Kudos, Chimamanda Adichie. Rufai, your dear friend. I mean, isn't she making you proud? Because I really loved the conversation, and that's why I thought to clip up that soundbite where Kamala Harris talked about Trump being a dictator, as Professor Wole Soyinka and his friends. One of his friends actually called Trump a dictator. We've seen protests of even last week or 2 weeks ago. We saw that No King's protest where 7 million people came out to object, his immigration policy.
I'm very proud of my friend, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I mean, great one. She's been on even this tour globally after her new book, and it's been like wildfire, and it shows the international appeal she's got. And as regards to Kamala book, I've actually read it. I mean, one of the few people that did get it as the book came out. I read it up on my Kindle. And she told the story of how hard it is for you as a black woman to break. Do you know that actually Biden and Biden's team sidelined Kamala all this while she was in government, deliberately was making her look like a second fiddle, not making her look good, until she decided to break free herself. And she told the story when Biden called her and said, okay, you're going to take this, and how, you know, they made the decision before she went out live, and, you know, she accepted the nomination and had it built in 107 days, you know, and she ran a very decent campaign. And please, a lot of people disagree with Professor Wole Soyinka because of the last election. I also disagree with him on some things, and I also disagree that things could have been done better. But this would never mitigate the fact that President Wole Soyinka stands on his right and should be supported on this American visa thing. This is a man that believes so much in his convictions. And that's one thing you can't fault him for. Even if you would disagree with his convictions, like I disagree with some of his convictions. Like I say, he protested a lot when Jonathan was there. He should be protesting and speaking up. Is it that the country is a good haven now?
No, it's 91.
So, on the street. No, but he can't protest on the street, but he can protest with his words and press conferences.
Yes.
But you hardly hear him say, oh, President, we are not doing this right. You're not, you get. So, but apart from that, on this visa ban, on this taking away his American visa, the American government should not have taken it. I mean, this is another statement that have done so much for cultural interaction. He's been a lecturer, he's lectured in universities abroad, added to the body of knowledge. And that's why we keep speaking of tyranny and the tyranny of Trump. And for all of those that support Trump because of religious beliefs and all sorts of beliefs, and because you disagree with President Wole Soyinka, you're not saying don't talk to President Wole Soyinka. The greatest loser here are the Americans. Because they will continue to look bad that they deny someone like President Wole Soyinka of a visa like this. He doesn't need it. He's already made and accomplished.
On Kamala Harris.
Dr. Masi, we have to move. Just 30 seconds. We have so many stories. We have to go now.
She says she's not done yet. She's likely to run again. She's been granting a series of interviews with Chimamanda, with Sarah Ferguson. And, you know, she says she will run. And we would like to see her run, particularly now that Trump and his supporters are toying with the idea of a third term in America for Donald Trump. I don't know whether Trump is going to change the American Constitution. So we need more people coming up and saying they will run. Now, as for Trump and Professor Wole Soyinka, whether Trump likes it or not, Professor Soyinka is a Nobel laureate. He has the Nobel. Something he's still looking for.
Can I just say, this is the revocation. It can be overturned, I'm sure. Things will be done. Everybody just relax. Farabale. Well, before we move to our next story, let's highlight this, our pictures of the day from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where the Director Generalization, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, along with other prominent Nigerians, are attending the Future Investment Initiative Conference, a meeting where business leaders, policymakers, entrepreneurs, and more get together to discuss international investments and the global economy. Okonjo-Iweala posted photos of prominent Nigerians she met, including the chairperson of UBA Group, Tony Elumelu, Africa's richest man, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, with the Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Senator John Owen Eno, and more, with the caption, "Very happy to see the Nigerian contingent in Riyadh. Up Nigeria, no, they carry last. Up Nigeria. I mean, isn't it beautiful to see our Nigerian contingent there in Riyadh? Arise News is also in Riyadh, live with our correspondents, bringing you updates. Well, another picture of the day is that of the chairman and editor-in-chief of This Day and Arise Media Group, Prince Nduka Obaigbena, with the executive secretary and CEO of the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, Aisha Rimi, and Nigerian-American billionaire, the chairman of Global Infrastructure Partners, Adebayo Ogunlesi. Arise and conquer. You know, we are always there. Ogunlesi is one of the richest African men in the world. He's worth about $2.5 billion, apparently, by Forbes. Forbes rated in there. And he was recently in Nigeria to meet with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he actually did say that he's, you know, coming to invest here in Nigeria.
And he's even closer to us. You know, he's our own Matthew.
Are you bringing up? He's from
Shagamu. So our Matthew here is related to him. So he's our own brother here.
Arise has had done a fantastic coverage. We have Rotus, Odiri, Georgina Ebianyika, and Zimbai Butiniri covering. They've been, you know, covering live, and also some important interviews have been done with the World DG of the World Trade Organization, Alhaji Aliko Dangote. The full interviews on YouTube, so we can catch up and really see. But I think technology is at the core of the conversation today. And Dr. Batu was asking a question when we were showing the robots earlier today, that when will it be Nigeria's turn? When we will bring this kind of innovation and technology? So I'm hoping that it's not just a talk shop, but we see the quality of Nigerians who are there. We're looking forward to bringing the knowledge back home and seeing how Nigeria can also be a global player when it comes to technology and AI. And always great to see, you know, Prince Nduka out there, you know, leading the charge for Arise News.
Going with our whole team. Arise and conquer. Always. We are always leading, really leading. Congratulations to all the Niger people out there in Saudi Arabia making us proud. Let's take this story now from Imo State, where a dramatic video from the Federal University of Technology in Owerri featured the moment a lecturer destroyed an architecture student's project during class. In the video, the lecturer could be heard accusing the student of being incapable of creating such an exceptional work while destroying the project with a cane as the student watched helplessly, sparking widespread outrage online. Let's take a look. This was so sad to watch, Ayo. Well, according to the student in the video, it's the third time this semester that this lecturer has destroyed his work. The video has garnered over 1.5 million views on X alone, sparking conversations around some lecturers' conduct in the country, and I'll take some reactions. This person wrote, "This is heartbreaking and totally unacceptable. That lecturer must be questioned, not just for destroying a student's project, but for abusing his authority and killing innovation. Every student deserves the right to defend their work, especially when it's exceptional. We can't keep silencing brilliance simply because it challenges mediocrity." Another ex-user wrote, and this is quite, the comment. They said, "This isn't about stifling creativity. It's about academic integrity. If the lecturer suspects outsourcing, destroying the model might be extreme, but necessary to deter dishonesty. Instead of blaming the lecturer, we should question why such suspicion arises. Is it the lecturer's fault or a systemic issue where students prioritize shortcuts over genuine effort? This could be a wake-up call for a culture that values appearances over hard work." And we should also consider that ex-user's comment as well. My producer has reached out to the school. We're yet to get an official statement.
Good. And I hope that an investigation will be done. But nevertheless, irrespective of whether or not the second claim, holds water, it's the manner in which the man addressed the issue in such a way that he could actually defeat the student's self-esteem.
Absolutely.
You can correct a child or a student, maybe not a child, a young adult, in a way that they don't feel defeated or they don't feel like they cannot do any other thing again. This throws more light on how we must go back to teacher training and actually understanding the code of conduct for lecturers in school. It's not the same thing we've celebrated lecturers that students have bought presents for and just celebrated, but also we see that a lecturer, a teacher has the potential to create, to shape the destiny of a child, to shape the future of a child. But when you address it in this manner, no matter how wrong or right the student might have been, it does not all go well. And I hope that schools and lecturers will do better. A lot of people know the experiences they had with lecturers in school, how it made them more fearful. Nigerians are intimidated, some students are intimidated, they are fearful. You don't want to even think or create new ideas because it might be shut down or you might be publicly embarrassed. This is the consequence of actions like this. So lecturers should do better. Let us retrain again so that we're able to really nurture dreams and nurture futures.
See, in university, I've heard and I know of experience where the lecturer will come to class is to teach you to make you better. He will tell you A is for God, B is for me, C is for very bright students.
Oh, come on.
Can you imagine? So why is he teaching you?
The technical word is plagiarism. In academic processes, plagiarism is considered a crime. But even when it is established, I agree that a lecturer should not be sadistic, should not be violent. So the authorities of the university should investigate what happened. And that's why in some universities, lecturers are rated. They give forms to the students. You assess your teacher so that, teachers also will know that while they are imparting knowledge, they should also do so in a humane manner. But what do you expect from a country where government too doesn't wear a human face?
That is the point.
And then lecturers too have become,
so many dimensions to this story. So many dimensions to this story. But we'll follow up on it as always. Let's now highlight a video movement in Ekiti State following the official confirmation of Governor Biodun Oyebanji as the All Progressives statement labeled against the Nigerian Football Federation after a viral social media post from FIFA featuring an image of the half-completed Benin Kebbi Stadium in Kebbi State sparked outrage online, while former Nigerian Football Federation President Amaju Pinnick, in an exclusive reaction this morning, asserts that the entire story has been completely misconstrued. Let's take a look.
If I give you their money, they audit their money, they know A to Z, and they have standard. So if the contract was about $1.1 million, $1.1 million in 2020, how much was it in naira? I'm asking you, less than 400 million naira. That's what people don't know. Everything went according to plan. And even in the contracts, I can share it. It was stated clearly that there was no variation. COVID came. And after COVID, you understand, you started building, you have workers on site, and COVID, everybody had to go. There was no additional time to the contract. No variation. Even in spite of COVID. There was a time in Nigerian football, I said, listen, you can hate Amaju Pinnick, but love Nigerian football. Love Nigerian football. So I just want to appeal. Let us get our facts right before we come out to the public and start saying things.
All right, Amaju Pinnick here, he has clarified that there were no variations in the contract and that, the project was completed properly, if we can have some of the videos of the completed stadium, if we can pull it up, and saying that that picture that was posted on the FIFA field, not this one, the actual video, this is the picture that was posted on the FIFA page, that this was not completed at the time, but the project was done and he has variation of the contract, and he's going to, if we can pull up the picture. Oh, we had it. Okay. We have the completed picture, but he's going to come on the show and clarify and give you guys proof. Empirical facts.
National Assembly has set up a committee to probe NFF and to probe how $25 million. That's the figure that Mr. Peter Obi referred to. Yes. $25 million.
Yes, from our story yesterday. Yes. So, well, he has clarified that, it was misconstrued and that the picture that was there was not the completed one, and they have completed the Kebbi, the station, the stadium.
Now, Cameroon. It don't reach Cameroon. God. Now, wow. This word. It did they go round. You see, the problem is, when this thing started, I said it, we said it. Was there any need, any reasons for Paul Biya to contest as a president? No, there was no reason. Was there any reason for the constitution, for the people of Cameroonian people to even allow that man to come on the ballot boxes? The answer was no. There was no reason. Constitutionally, age-wise, it don't pass on. Even if there is no age, when there is no constitution that talks about it, it don't pass on. 92 years old, so what do you want? You are embarking on the 7 years mandate again as a 92 years old. Before you leave office, if at all you are able to survive it, you'll be 99 years. A president of a country, the oldest president. Now it's quick for some of this world who knows what they are benefiting from this country to congratulate. To congratulate is something they should condemn. This is the problem we are having in Africa. Like this, how do you expect the country to move forward? This man that has been out of Cameroon for how many months or how many years? He doesn't live in Cameroon. He only comes to Cameroon once. A president, because he lives in hotel, he lives in hospital. From hospital to hotel to his house. That's where he lives. What do you expect from a 92 years who already has dementia? Who already had dementia? Can anybody with dementia think right? Does he know what he is doing again? He doesn't. Don't you know what is dementia? Didn't you know what is dementia? These are the problem. Now, they took the protest to the streets to protest to destroy. See, oh God, Africa. No, this is height of it all. Now they are protesting and destroying. You come back again. Well, this man, does he have the power to lead the country? He does not have the power. And mind you, the problem is, the reasons why they even allow somebody who declared him the winner of this election is Senate president. That one too. I think that one too is also a 91 years old. The Senate president of the state Cameroon who declared this one a win after 2 weeks of election, putting plus and minus together to declare him the winner. The person is also 92 years old. A Senate president. And if you look at top 5 or 10 leaders in the country, they are all 80s, 90s. You talk about the president himself, the Senate president, chief of army staff, defense staff, Attorney General of the state, all those positions, 3 arms of government, the leaders of the 3 arms of government, they are all 80s, 90s. If you count top 10 leaders in the country, the older, the junior one among them should be like 85 years. That is a junior one. That is a junior one among them. The youngest one among them should be 85. The rest 80, 90s. The rest 80. There's no even anybody with it. There's no 80 safe. It's 80 plus. What those people now? What do they want again? What do they have again? What do they have to offer? Now the world is talking about the Africa is lacking behind. The world is talking about innovation, technologies, artificial technology, AI. This man doesn't know what is AI. Can he use his mobile phone? Can he even sit down and watch TV for a good 1 hour to know what is going on? No. Can this man write speech? No. They have to write for him. They have to read for him. So what is the essence? What do you want again? If I don't know. What reasons would they make this person a president? They say you come to campaign, just one. A campaign that should, did you know if you campaign in Nigeria, how many months campaign? You have to go to different states, the 36 states, you have to go around, and the kid just want to campaign. The supporter does the rest. That shows, no, they should, in fact, not, the Cameroon is not just to contest, it's not just to protest and chase him out of office. They not just to burn houses. If you burn houses without succeeding, removing him as a president is of no use. The protest is of no use. You protest if you destroy, you destroy and you make sure the man does not stay there as a president. They change the president or military take over. There's no point protesting. At the end of protest, destroying properties in businesses, people lost their lives. At the end of the day, the man still remain the president. So it's of no use. It's a waste of everything. Can they survive it? No. It will take time. So if you just destroy, people their lives, lost their lives, and you destroy businesses, houses, government properties in the state, in the country, yeah, you know that you successfully, just like what happened in Nepal, they successfully chased the president and his wife out of office, and they appoint another person. So you appoint another person. If you can't, if this man, the second opposition, Chimaroke, if he cannot take over, then they have to conduct another election again if another person wins. So what's the name? Why? What does he want to do? Indirectly, the son or the children of this man is the one leading the country, not the man. I haven't said that. Professor Wole Soyinka, you see, Americans are not joking. They are serious. So I know it is not good, but sometimes that's why you need to be truthful to yourself. Do you understand? So what he said then, they use it against you, just like what he did against Jonathan that time. Today, he's silent, he never said anything. Now it's what he did that time, 2016, where you say 2016, what they say, cheddar America, where Donald Trump won that time, American visa, blah, blah, blah. Now Donald Trump come for you, he pay back. But even anybody try to argue, defense, Donald Trump, this and that, Donald Trump even reiterated that he was revoking his visa. If at all he told his green card in 2016, now he does not have any reason. They have to revoke it. So that's what Donald Trump said now. So he said you don't want to go back. Yes, stay back in Nigeria. See, not just to revoke a Professor Wole Soyinka visa. Donald Trump, he said, should help us revoke other visa. Yeah, not just Donald Trump. Top politicians in this country revoke their visas, and they are followed by their children. Revoke their visas. That's all. When you do that, the rest will sit up. You face this country by force. Do you understand? Let top countries now, let's 10 countries in this world, they come, they say they don't want these Nigerian politicians in their country again. They revoke their visas, and their children revoke their visas, send them back to their country to come and school here. You see, this country will change overnight, but those countries will not do it because these foreigners, especially Nigeria, they won't give them money, especially for schools. We give them money, we pay in cash, so they can't do that. That's it. The day Nigerians stop attending foreign universities, some of these universities in abroad, they can't survive. That's just it. Some of them can't survive. Say they don't want Nigeria again in their university, revoke all their visas. They cancel. Some of these universities will shut down as well, and they would not like to do that because we pay in cash. Do you know what it is to pay in cash? They are charging you £20,000 per your tuition if you are doing masters, you are undergraduate or postgraduate. Do you know all those things? So oh God, this country. Anyways, what do you think? Please share this video and subscribe for more.